So number 11 from the with calculator portion. Just because it's with calculator, some of these I may still do without a calculator so you get that extra practice because there's a lot of questions on the test that are non-calculator. Alright, so let's go to begin. So during the manufacturing process, we were looking at a metal part of a machine is exposed to varying temperature conditions. So the manufacturer of the machine recommends that the temperature of the machine part remain below 132 degrees Fahrenheit. So the temperature T, okay, in degrees Fahrenheit, X minutes after the machine is put into operation is modeled by this, okay? So if you notice, yes, it is quadratic, and yes, there is a negative, and the temperature will change as X continues to grow on and on and on, okay? Will the temperature of the part ever reach or exceed? So will it ever equal or will it ever be greater than 132 is what it's asking. You with me? So use the discriminant of the quadratic to decide, and then we will solve that together with the calculator. So all of this, listen, very, very important. All of this represents the temperature. And you're trying to see, will this ever, all of this, will this ever equal or exceed 132? This is what you're really trying to find. And if it does, we're going to find when that would happen, because X is our in minutes time. Okay? So here we go. We're going to use the discriminant test. Now, you have to read the test very carefully. If it asks you to use a certain method, you must use that certain method. If you don't, you're going to lose all the work points. Okay? So please make sure you do it our method. Don't just read it and be like, oh, I'm just going to do it the way I remember how to do it. Okay? So the discriminant test, here we go. B squared minus 4AC, we're going to see what kind of answers we're going to get. Okay? So from this equation, B is 0.45, A is a negative 0.005, and C is 125. And we are multiplying 4AC. Now listen. This was conveniently already put in standard form, which you just did with your performance tasks for you. Where I could have put a 0 and everything else was on the right side. On the test, you may have this not in that easy form, that you might have to move stuff around first so that you can then use that equation. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to quickly put this value into our calculator, this B squared minus 4AC, and we're going to see what kind of answer do we get. This is a with calculator problem. So parentheses 0.45 squared minus 4 times parentheses negative 0.005 times parentheses 125. We get a positive answer. Okay? That's all I cared about, was that it was going to give me a positive answer. Okay? So if I go back here, using the discriminant test, we're going to decide, will it ever give me an answer? Because of the fact that I had it positive, I know that there are two real solutions. There aren't any imaginary i's. You will get actual answers for this, okay? And you can do this one of two ways. You can graph this into your graphing calculator and solve for the zeros. So if I put this into the graphing calculator, I'd go to F1. And again, I'm putting that equation of negative 0.005 x squared, 0.45x, and 125. Let me make sure that that was a positive. Yeah. So when you do that, you would get something that looks like this. So looking at the graphing calculator, this is pretty high. You can't see a graph. So some of you may do this, and you press the window button and zoom out or zoom fit by pressing A. it will nicely put the graph as much as it can, fit it on the screen for you. Okay? So now if I said menu, window, and I'm going to zoom out, and I said, let's say my center is here, and I just kept pressing equal or enter, 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 or down on the keypad, you could see it developing, and now you can see where your answers would be. You press menu, analyze graph, 1 for the zeros, otherwise x-intercepts, and over here, the lower bound, basically left of that x-intercept, soft mouse scroll, you can see your first answer appear as a negative 119. So x is equal to negative 119. Okay? If I went back over here and I tried it for the other one, menu, it would be analyze graph, the zeros. Go to the left of this one and soft mouse scroll. You see the other one appear as 209. Okay? So 209 could be the other one here. Now, you tell me, because I'm giving you practice with the calculator, but I'm also wanting you to look at what you're actually doing and making sure that you're good to go. Are these the answers that I was looking for? They're not, because what should I have set this equal to if I was really doing this? Not 0, but 132 is what I needed to account for, okay? And the way that I could have done that is I could have subtracted 132 to the other side, and just like Pranav said, then I would have it set equal to 0, and I could solve for it then. You with me? So if I put 0 is less than or equal to negative 0.005x squared, we still have this, but we have a 125 that we would then subtract the 132. I should have really had a negative 7. Y'all with me? So let me quickly show you this by going back and changing that last number to a negative 7. So some of you may do a simple error like that, no worries. Just make sure that you account for it. And now you can go back and find the true answers that you were looking for. Okay, so here we go. Menu. We're going to do window A for zoom fit. And now we can quickly find menu 4, zoom in. And I can zoom in on trying to find those x-intercepts. Okay, and you would see I could calculate those x-intercepts the same way to get the answers. As a shortcut, the last way that I can show you, because I don't want this video being forever, I want you to go over here on the first original page, on page 1, or we can do another way. The other calculator way that you could do is menu solve feature. So menu 3.1, and we would type this into the original equation. We would type this into the calculator and see what we would get. So I can do this if I want, okay? Which probably would be the easiest way with the calculator. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So we're going to put 132 as it originally was shown is control equals less than or equal to all of that other piece that we had. Okay, the other piece was negative 0.005x, and then it was plus 45x or 0.45, right? And then 125. And then comma x, and there's where your answers would be. The answers look like they would lie between 20 and between 70. Okay? So over here on that graphing calculator that we did before, you saw it would also be between 20 and it would be between 70. Okay? So for our final answer, what would we put for this particular one? If it's happening between 20 and 70. You could do it just like this, or you could say 20 to 70, brackets, brackets, minutes. Use the discriminant to decide, and if we wanted to solve it, we'd have between 20 and 70 minutes. Any questions on this one? Okay.